Hey, how's it going? So this video, I'm actually gonna remember to tap, use objects. I'm not gonna use too many objects, okay? It's gonna be a pretty quick video. Quick as in less than 15 minutes, I think, but more than 10. Yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I might go to 20. We'll see how I'm feeling. But honestly, I wasn't planning on doing another video, but quite frankly, it's Saturday. And I'm kind of bored. I've read a lot today, and none of my friends are available. I went to the store. I don't really want to play Xbox yet. So yeah, that's kind of been my day, and my tapping's not as loud because my fingernails, as you can see, they're cut pretty, yeah, I've just been filing them the past week after every couple of days or so. So my tapping's not as good as it used to be. Apologies, but I'm not sorry. My nails feel better when I trim them more often. I'm trying to be better in that aspect. But so last time I rambled for 40 minutes. I'm gonna keep rambling this video, but let me tell you about that day, the following day or so. I don't remember when I made the video exactly, a few days ago. But I went to the dentist. My bite on my crown, he had to like file it down again. I'm gonna say file, you know what I mean. That's basically what happened to my tooth. And I guess I'll bring this back in a second. That's what happened to my tooth. So my bite's actually much better. My crown tooth doesn't hurt really that much anymore. I wouldn't say I'm 100%, but I'm like 95% at least. But I'm also getting a night guard. I told him, I was like, because I do grind my teeth. He noticed that my teeth are a little bit like, you know, like, I showed my teeth last time. They're just like, he can tell I kind of grind my teeth. And he's like, you obviously don't do it all the time, but you could do it sometimes, and then that could be increasing the sensitivity, and I had cold sensitivity on the other tooth. Honestly, I kind of figured that. I was kind of hoping that wasn't the case, but I'm getting a night guard. I confirmed, I was like, I want to get a night guard, but I would hate to get a night guard, and then turns out I need an implant in the future, and then I'd have to get a new night guard. He's like, I promise that won't happen. And I was like, okay, sold. So I'm getting a night guard. It'll probably be another like 10 days or so until I get a call from them. Maybe 7 days, I don't know. You know, because they had to like do something on my teeth for like 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes. And then they send it to a lab, and the lab makes it, and then they get it. And then I pay them lots of money. But yeah, I'm getting a night guard. Pretty cool, right? And then I talked about whitening my teeth. He said with my fluorisis, or I think it's fluorisis, he said like obviously the white stains won't go away, which I kind of figured. I knew that. But he said I'm young, I don't have any like fake, I know like my teeth are still all here, besides the crown tooth, but that's like a back molar. He's like, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to try. I'm like, yeah, honestly, I'm all for it, because I did whitening strips in middle school. I really want to see what happens, you know, once in my life. But yeah, that's going to be June 12th. I mean, I guess whenever I make another video after that, I'll let y'all know. Go on today. Yeah. Okay, dentist talk. Excuse me. Dentist talk, done. Card talk. I organized all the bleach cards, the SAO cards, and then the One Piece cards that my friend gave me. I kept like, I want to say 70 at most, but they all fit in the little One Piece, the card game thing he gave me. So yeah, I bought no cards besides that Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I got them all there. So I'm going to give my other friend probably the trash pile, and he can make do with what he wants. But yeah, now, I didn't talk about this last time. Apologies, because I was a rambling machine last time, and I still am this time. I'm going to grab another item, even if it's not, like, original at all. I've ran out of original ideas for this channel. dusty. That's the problem with a bunch of black furniture and products in my room with a window. Dust everywhere. Oh boy. But yeah, so I didn't talk about this last time. There's a book series I mentioned the other couple videos called the Lycanius Trilogy, which I used to say was Sanius. It turns out it's Lycanius. But yeah, I finished the book last weekend, basically around the middle of May. So I gave my friend the book back, well, the 3 books, the trilogy. And honestly, I like the books a lot. The first 2 books, the first book took like 13 days, the second book took 11 days, and then the third book took me 3 months. Because I didn't really read for like the longest time. I really got back into it in May. I was like, I want to finish this. But yeah, I really like it. It's just hard for me to sit down and read. It's hard for me to sit down and read sometimes, or just focus on reading. I don't have ADHD, but like some people would probably think I do. It's just sometimes it's hard for me to focus and do that. Sometimes my mind just wanders about. Or like it's hard for me to sit down because I'm like, my back kind of hurts, which my back feels much better now. But yeah, it's a bunch of that stuff, and it's I'm used to reading. I'm used to watching shows in YouTube my whole life. So, and I haven't been as much into watching anime, so it's kind of hard for me to read. But it used to be even harder when I was watching stuff all the time. But it's just like that sense of I've watched so much stuff, I don't feel like watching as much, and I really want to read now. So, trying to read. I'm a rambling machine today. But yeah, I like reading. It's just kind of hard for me to focus. But after finishing the Lycanius Trilogy, which is a fantasy series about like time and fate and a bunch of other stuff with powers and all that sorts of good stuff. But that book's more like there's like 3 main characters, and there's maybe 4 main characters, I want to say. But there's also a bunch of other characters, but like you'll kind of have a bunch of like kind of POV chapters. So like one chapter will be about this character, then the next one, this one, and this one, and then sometimes you'll have 2 in a row of this character. That was my biggest pet peeve about the Lycanius Trilogy. But that's just because I don't read too much. Oh my gosh, look at this vein with the window and the lighting. That's crazy. Yeah, the Lycanius Trilogy was good. It's just, that was kind of a bummer to me because there's like 1 or 2 characters I really want to learn more about. Especially one character, and then I have to read like these 3 other chapters about the other characters. I'm like, no! But it ends really well, and I liked it a lot. And then that brings me to, boom. I bought the trilogy for the Mistborn series. And I know there's more books, but like the 3 books are kind of like the 3 books, the trilogy. And then there's more books that cover, I don't know, the prequel or like afterwards. I don't know exactly. But stuff like that. These are the 3 books though, okay? And then Amazon, man. It came packaged, but like it was ripped here. I mean, it's not a big deal. The books itself are good. See, like here. I'm not going to show you those. I got the actual book. Got the actual book here, the one I'm reading. See? Mistborn. And there's an actual, like, this is the first book. But I believe it's not always called Mistborn, the first book. It's called something else, which I don't know. But this is Mistborn. It's made by, the author is Brandon Sanderson. It appears so. But yeah, I like it a lot. Check this out. I like doing this a lot with the book. Isn't that kind of fun? I'm trying to think when I got this book. So I got this book probably Thursday. If I were to say, it could have been Wednesday. But I think I got this book Thursday, okay? Let me do the math in my head. No, I for sure got this book Wednesday. I'm pretty confident because I read 2 chapters the first day, and the next day I read 1 chapter, I think. And then I read like 2 chapters yesterday. Something like that. But basically, I read a lot today. I was on page 87 last night. And I saw that the chapter ended at page 107. And it was midnight, almost 1 o'clock, and I wanted to kind of calm down, turn the TV off, and read. But turns out I was really tired and I couldn't even read a page. So I am now at 87, right? Last night, I woke up. I'm on page 176. It's currently maybe 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. It could be a little later now. Haven't actually checked, and I can't really check on my phone right there. But yeah, there is 535. I'm trying to read it without 500. Oh wait, maybe 550 pages. I thought it was 35. Okay, but I got like let me do the math. Sorry, my math is rusty. 380 pages. Is that correct, Amundo? I could do like old school Jace math. 177 plus 400. 577. Yeah, it's like 380 pages left. Honestly, I'm making great pace with this book. I mean, look at that. I could be halfway by the end of the night if I only read this, but that won't happen, I don't think. I think I'll definitely get to I think I'll get to 200 today, for sure. It's just, I might go on Xbox relatively soon. And I don't have plans tomorrow, or Monday, but like I kind of have some sort of plans for the holiday, but not too much. Honestly, I'm pretty much free a lot of the times. I'm pretty lonely sometimes, but that's fine. I got friends. I got friends. I'm working on being more active, but I've lived at the same place my whole life, and I don't really feel like moving away either. But I'm trying to figure out more hobbies. But I'm doing good, so you don't have to worry. But I do like getting into reading more fantasy books. I've always wanted to read. It's just really hard for me to get into it. Or like to sit down and read. I like reading, it's just because there was one book I read in school that I remember liking. It was called Then There Were None, I think. And it was just like a murder mystery basically on an island, and then like slowly people would die off. I like that book a lot. I'm pretty sure that was common around everywhere. There's some books everyone read. I mean, a lot of books in high school and middle school I didn't really read. I would just use Spark Notes. And I would still get an A on the assignments, or a B, but like good enough. I'm sure I got C's every now and then on reading, but I mean, it didn't bother me. It's not like my reading was bad once I got to high school, or like upper middle school. I'm saying upper middle school. Not the first year of middle school, but like towards the second or third, I got much smarter at reading and like taking school relatively seriously. I wasn't as distracted as much. But yeah, I want to get into reading more fantasy, so I'm gonna read Mistborn, the trilogy, and then I'll decide if I want to go to the like sequel or prequel or whatever the other books are called. Again, my bad. I didn't do that much research. I just know this is one of the popular ones. And it has to do with powers, and it's very cool. The first book so far, I'm pretty sure it changes, but the first book actually has like an Ocean 11 type. I watched a YouTube video giving a sales pitch of this book, even though I was going to get it. And it was like, imagine Lord of the Rings, but the bad side one. And then like the world's overrun by them. And then imagine like also Ocean 11, and there's power with metals. Different sort of metals that give people power. And honestly, it's exactly like that. I mean, I think the Lord of the Rings part, I don't see it too much like that yet. But it's definitely like a bad side one, like a bad person one, in a sense. And now it's ruled over like the world for so long, and then like there's a class of people that are like no longer the people that lost. They're essentially like the slaves of the economy. But like it has such an Ocean 11 feel, honestly. Ocean 8, okay, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. Ocean 8 is the girl one, right? That, no offense, no one liked. And Ocean 11, 12, and 13, right? That's the original? Has to be. I watched Ocean 11 like 6 years ago, maybe 5. My brother was watching it, and I never knew about it, and I actually loved those. I think they got worse, if I remember correctly. But like, it's kind of like that. Like, they're trying to overthrow the kingdom, or like this town, the popular city. That's all I'm going to say of the book, but yeah. And there's a girl on YouTube, I don't know her, I forget her name already, but she's a girl who like, I was just searching fantasy books, and she recommended like 10 different fantasy books. Of course, I love fantasy books with powers. I've always been a fantasy nerd. I mean, I love anime. I mean, superhero stuff. I'm not too big into it, honestly. I'm one of the people that died off of once we got past Avengers and stuff. And then I watched some of the series and some of the movies after Endgame, but like I lost interest. Yokuso, watashi wa Soul Society. Rent free, man. Oh, my stomach right there. What the heck? Okay, it looks like we're gonna push 20 minutes this video. Yeah, I'll kind of talk with this spinning. But yeah, she recommended other books, and there's a few that honestly kind of interest me. So I haven't done that in a while. But yeah, there's a few that interest me. I want to get into it. Like, I really want to get into reading. I like reading. At least, yeah. I don't know if I'll ever get into like Percy Jackson or read Harry Potter. Percy Jackson would be more likely over Harry Potter, I think, but I don't think I'm going to get into it at this point. And then, I mean, I love fantasy with powers, but I do want to get into more like fantasy romance, honestly. But I don't want it to be like crazy like romance. Because like when it comes to anime, the romance scene, like I've seen all the good stuff, I feel like. I've seen Horimiya. I'll say it with my non-Japanese pronunciation. Horimiya. What was the other one? Sign of Affection. Really long time ago, I saw Golden Time, Toradora. I've seen Orin Host High School Club. My bad. I think I said that correctly. I'm missing a bunch off the top of my head. Like, there's one I saw on Netflix a few years ago that's not even that popular. I wish I could remember what it's called, but it's basically like a, girl, guy, blah, blah, blah. But this girl has some, like, being, kind of like a Fairly Odd Parent in a sense that, like, is with her. I don't remember what it's called. I actually liked that. It was kind of like the under the radar I didn't expect to like much. Turned it on Netflix. I liked it a lot. It was good. But, like, Sign of Affection, Horimiya, and Kaguya-sama, those are, like, the really good ones, I think. They all have their own different categories. Kaguya-sama's more like Horimiya, but Horimiya's like fast-paced, fun, wholesome. Kaguya-sama's more like funny, wholesome sometimes. It's just more funny. Sign of Affection's just a really good romance story where their lips are so obvious. I don't know what's up with the animation studio doing that, but oh my gosh. And you know what's funny? I call it reverse harem. Because technically it is. There's harem anime where it's like a guy and a bunch of girls. I don't really like those. I never really did. And then there's reverse harem, where I swear the girl's always like... It's always like she gets sent back into like 1800s or something, like older times. And it's basically a girl surrounded by a bunch of guys. But like it's more like it's just like love circles and stuff. And there's a clear love interest, and then there's like a bunch of other guys. I guess it's like a shoujo type manga style, but it's kind of reverse harem in that sense. Because there's not really other girls in the show for the most part. I like those a lot, actually. I don't know why. It's kind of like Yona of the Dawn. You know what I mean? If you understand what I'm talking about, if you've watched these. Like Yona of the Dawn, it's like, there's a clear love interest. It's gonna happen. But there's also these other characters. Like, they have their scenes every now and then, but like... I like those type of stories. I kind of want to get into a fantasy like that. Like a book fantasy, kind of like that. But I don't want it to be like a love triangle, blah, blah, blah. I want a clear interest. I don't like love triangles. They're kind of boring. They're kind of like, just get to the point. And I don't want it to be like a story where like it takes a full-on story to get the romance to like, or like the ship to sail. Those always... I've had enough of those. I've seen enough of that to know I don't want to see another. I got some red vines at the store. Haven't ate them yet. I'll get to it. And I know I mentioned it last video. Remember how like if you watched it, how I had like rose water and glycerin spray for my face, hydrating face spray, and I do Nivea face cream. My face is still very shiny, by the way. Not shiny, hydrated. Not to brag, simple solutions. I think that's my favorite thing I learned about this past, like 30 days ago. This past 30 days ago? You know, you can tell the sunlight's kind of like shifting in more throughout the video. Have I shown this yet? I got a bunch of coloring pencils and stuff, I feel like I did, but I actually may have not. Like almost 2 months ago, probably. I did a bunch of coloring. You want to see? I got the spooky. That fell on my toe. Check this out. You're gonna see something cool. I grabbed it with my feet for free. Spooky, cute and comfy coloring book. Coco. I'm just kidding. I don't know how to say that. But I wanted to get a coloring book for the longest time. I like art. I love looking at art, but I'm not good at art, so I got a coloring book. This is when I was very anxious, like 2 months ago. But I got like, see, coloring. Some of these are very like, they're just kind of fun. Like this one, I did the moon first. It looks like a tutti frutti moon, honestly. I use colored pencils. I don't do like the markers. This one I tried being crazy. Bunch of like crazy colors. Let's see the next one. Oh yeah, this one I did a cool thing with the sky or the background. You see it kind of like goes from darker to this. And then I obviously didn't I didn't really blend it in too well, but I don't really care because it's my coloring book. This one I basically used my full pressure to do the colors. You see that? This is a lot of color. And I did a pattern with the violet. What color was it? Sorry, my bad. I forget the colors I used. It was these two colors, these shoes with the socks. I did a pattern throughout the whole theme. Kind of like an overall theme. There's a bunch left. This one I haven't finished. I honestly forgot about. See? It's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. It's like my own collection of insanity. I'll have it sideways. See? There's that. I mean, there's a lot of blank ones still, but honestly, I colored more than I was expecting. Yeah. This one's crazy. Not even gonna front on that. That's crazy. Crazy work there. This one, I like doing fun backgrounds sometimes, so like I just did shapes, squiggles. Yeah, and then I don't know. Oh, there is more. Sorry. Okay, so this one, I'm going to show you this one up close real quick, because this is my proudest color blend. You see that fire? That's pretty nice. Has the flames. I mean, it's like kind of blends, but like, I like the way the colors went there. I like the way I did things there. This one's pretty simple. I like the simple ones because they don't take as long. To do, but yeah, I haven't really colored in a bit, quite frankly. I got this black piece of paper, I forget what it's called. It's basically like to prevent the bleed, and I don't think it really does anything for the most part, or I needed to buy it for colored pencils. There's been a couple times where like I accidentally forgot to put it there, and then blah blah blah. It didn't go through still, but yeah. Bought 4 of these. I bought the coloring book. I bought 46 or something crazy amount of colored pencils right here. Like this is just one of the 2 sheets. I'm sure I've showed this in a video. The other ones over here, but yeah, all of that. There's like 20 pieces of black paper, the book, 4 colored oh my gosh, pencil sharpeners. Cost me like $25. Actually a really good deal. I think so. Thought it would have been more. The books I bought, this was like $45 or $46 because I bought the nicer ones. Because I'm just a person who likes nicer things. And if you're reading a book, you might as well get the nicer ones if they're not a lot more money. I think I might, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Like, I kind of want to I wanted to return this, not going to lie. I'm like, no way I got one like this. But the books are in great condition, so I don't care to. And I'm reading, you see, I'm reading the book. Yeah, yeah, so the first book is Mistborn, second book is The Well of Ascension, and the third book is The Hero of Ages. And if you read these books, please don't spoil. Please don't spoil, or I'll never make a video again. I'll never talk about my interests again. But yeah. Yeah, that's me, that's my life, blah, blah, blah. That's enough talking, okay? The video is going to end now. Thank you for watching. I'll figure out what I'm gonna do after this. I've stopped doing background. I've stopped using filters for the videos because it takes longer to upload, and I don't think it really changes the view count or anything. So it's kind of something that eases my mind because it's less work I gotta do. Not gonna lie. Okay, we'll try to pretend like I had all these items out the whole video. Okay, you ready? There's a thumbnail. Okay. Thank you for watching. Something in the comment section. I mean, I'll probably just, what do I want? Is there anything I want in the comment section this time? Nah, you guys can ask me questions again, though. Honestly, you can ask me questions every video. Remember, I see your comments, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, hope y'all have a good day. Hope you have a good day. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and yeah.